What's poppin', world? I hope all is well. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that bell so you get notification anytime I go live and anytime I post a video. And if you've been here before and you know I'm about to put that fire out, consider hitting that like button so we can get to the algorithm and more people can see this content. And if any moment during this video you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And again, please consider subscribing to the channel. We're growing a strong community over here, and I want you to be a part of the team. Let's get into this. Today, I want to pose the question of why is it that within the black race, many individuals feel like they need to be single in order to strive for success? That's right. Let that process a little bit. Why is it that in the black community, many individuals feel like they need to remain single in order to strive for success? We're going to watch a couple of clips. I got Kountry Wayne on one. I got Desi Banks on the other. These guys are going to say or speak on their relationship status. Then I'm going to break down the question that I just posed to you guys. Let's get into this.
I'm talking about me.
No.
Or you trying to get more money?
When you're up now.
Right.
Yeah.
You were married once. Would you do it again?
Yeah, I probably would.
Why did you get a divorce?
Oh, because I was just ready to be free. Because with the plans I had and what I wanted to do, I knew with a woman in my life wasn't going to agree to the plans I had in my mind. Like the way I took over social media with the storylines and all that, the women.
Right.
You know, I built a dynasty with that. But if I was in a relationship, I couldn't have did that. I would have went home. What you kissing her? It's just a skit. I'm like, bro, I see your vision. I ain't got time to come home and explain.
Right.
What?
Over without explanation.
Yeah, I ain't got time to explain, but I see something.
You see this house? You see them cars? You see?
Yeah, now everybody I ever talked to in the past see. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
too late though.
It's too late now.
Have you ever thought about going back and getting one that you from the past?
I thought about it, but nah, it ain't gonna work.
Why wouldn't it work?
Because you are who you was when you showed up.
All right, guys, you saw that, you heard that. Now, he said I believe he left his marriage because, the skits he was doing, he was kissing women in the skits, and he didn't feel like going home and explaining what was going on. And he said he was ready to be free in a nutshell. He said he was ready to be free. Now, Kountry Wayne, he's very talented, right? And he's a hard worker. He was going to blow up regardless, right? Was it necessary for him to leave his wife, right? Is that a reason to leave your wife because you're going to do some skits and you don't want to explain it? I won't get into all of that, right? I have an answer, but in this video, I won't dabble into all of that. I had to tap into a whole nother category and start preaching it here. But anywho, he was going to blow up. He's very talented. He's a hard worker. Is that what he needed to do just to get to this level of success? I don't think so. But again, that's debatable. Let me go over to this next clip.
Like I said, I would have to find if that it had to be a woman that really just understand everything, just understand what I do and support me, and of course, God-fearing woman, spiritual woman, a connection woman, stuff like that, or a real woman, But like right now,
you are open to getting married.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
Maybe down the line. But right now, I'm so focused on my career and my purpose. My family, my kids.
One day, like a Monday or Tuesday.
One day, boy, I ain't no telling. One day when the glory comes, it will be out. It will be out. One day.
Glory, huh?
Glory. As your grandma used to say, glory, baby, glory.
Is there a time limit? How long do you believe a man?
All right, guys. So you saw that, you heard that. He said he would, get married one day, and he described the type of woman he would be looking for, which sounded pretty good, a God-fearing woman, so on and so forth, Sound like a pretty good woman who he would bond himself with when he gets married, right? But he also said that he's focusing on his career, so that's not going to happen right now. Now, again, my question is, why do many blacks now? You got some other races who move that way, but by and large, this happens within the black community a lot. You see a lot of men and women striving for greatness, success, so on and so forth, and they block out bonding with the opposite sex during this time period, right? You see it all the time. But on the contrary, many men and women of the other races tend to get engaged, get married at an early age. They get in serious relationships at an early age. Now, I'm not talking about just anybody. I'm talking about the ones who are striving for success. I'm talking about men and women of all races who are striving for success. Many of the ones in the black race tend to hold off on bonding with the opposite sex, as to where men and women of other races, they lean into it, right? They'll go ahead and make that bond, build that union early on in life, right? I used to work in a hospital, in a huge hospital in this area, and you would see some of the med students, men and women in different programs, and you would approach them and talk to them, and they would, I got a boyfriend, or I'm engaged, or I'm actually married, right? They would say that to younger women, as to where you would see some of the black women striving for some of those same things, and they would say, you know what, I'm single, but I'm focused on this. I don't want to be bothered with that. I'm not available for that. I'm not doing that until I finish school, or let me get into my career first, and then I'll entertain a relationship. You see that a lot. Even back when I was on dating sites, I would have women actually come in and like me and be on my profile and start messaging me, and I got to talk. Okay, what are you looking for? Oh, I just want a friend, just cool. I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm focusing on school right now, focusing on my career right now. I'd be like, did you not read my profile? I'm dating for marriage. But you come in here saying you just want somebody cool, kick it sometimes, I'd be like, okay, wow. And then we go down this whole spiel. But anyway, that's common for a lot of men and women of the black race to push off and hold off on relationships, marriage, and bonding with the other sex, right? Whenever we are striving and we feel like we're onto something and we're going to do it big, we tend to wait into those latter years, right? I wrote down some questions as to why that might be. In the comments section, you can let me know what you think it might be, right? So some of the questions I have is this: do we idolize careers, success, and money, right? Do we idolize those things so much to where we blocking out, a person of the opposite sex from coming in and bonding with us? Do we idolize those things, money, success, and a career, right? Schooling, do we idolize that? Is it hard for us to focus on more than one thing at a time, right? Because I know some people feel like if they focus on a man or a woman, they will not be as focused on their, say, schoolwork or whatever it is that career path has them doing, right? They won't focus as much if there's a man or a woman in the picture. Is that what it is? It's hard for us to focus on more than one thing at a time, right? Do our people lack respect for people of the opposite race, right? Do the men lack respect for the women? Do the women lack respect for the men? Is that what it is? Is it a lack of respect where we're like, oh, they ain't even worthy of it, right? They're not worthy of coming in this world. They're not worthy of it. Do we lack respect for the opposite sex? Is that what it is, right? Is it hard for us to find a balance in life? Is that what it is? It's just simply hard for us to find balance. Is that what it is? That's pretty much self-explanatory, right? Do we have a crab in the bucket mentality, right? That could be one thing, right? Do we get jealous of each other? That's what that means. Like, are we pulling each other down when we are bonding, so people just choose not to? Because you have some men and women in relationships and in marriages who compete with each other, right? You have men and women in relationships and marriages who simply compete with each other, right? You got men and women who are talking in the talking stages and they compete with one another, and they may pull each other down. I don't want you going to that. You need to be with me more. Or I don't want you going to do this. You need to be with me more. Or I don't want you being successful. I don't think you're going to like me no more. Or if you get rich, you're going to go out here and get a white woman. If you do this, you're going to go out here and get a white man, right? Is that what it is? Is it the crab in the bucket mentality? Is that why men and women choose not to bond with each other? Why they're striving for success? Is it a crab in the bucket? Right. Let's see. Are we ignorant to how to properly do relationships and marriage? Right. Men and women grew up not seeing a good marriage. Is that what it is? Is it the ignorance and not knowing how to properly be in a good solid relationship or a good solid marriage? Is it the ignorance that's keeping us down? Right. Is it the ignorance? Now, at the end of the day, we're going to have to figure something out. I think it could be a combination of all of it. But we have got to figure it out. Many of us are building a wall up against the opposite sex. And the truth of the matter is this. I think in the past couple of years, I know for sure the men in the black race, we have fell to the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to economic status. We used to be second to last. I believe we were ahead of Hispanics. We have now fell to the bottom. We have now fell to the bottom, and something's got to change. We've got to start back building stronger families. We've got to start back building with one another. But something has got to change. Something has got to change. We have fell to the bottom, and we are dividing ourselves against each other. We are dividing ourselves against each other. Now, this gender war is going on amongst all races of people, but it is especially affecting blacks. It is. I'm gonna just call it for what it is. It is especially affecting blacks, and we have got to make a change or make changes somewhere. But we have failed to the bottom. We're leaning into individualism, right? Materialism. We're letting social media cause us all to be superficial. Now, that's across all races. We have got to do something. People want to make their own money, do their own thing. They don't want to bond. They don't want to marry. They're talking against all these things that were supposed to be of God, right? They are talking against all things that are supposed to be for God. They're speaking against it, right? Now, in my personal experience, I'm currently engaged to a woman who's a director of a decent sized company, right? And initially going into it, I'm thinking like, man, shit, director, she ain't gonna have time. I ain't got time for that. She gonna be bossy, masculine, whatever, right? But it turned out to be the opposite. We spend a lot of time together. We talk all the time. We have a great connection, great bond. We're compatible. Things work out good, right? But that's a beautiful thing because I was going into it thinking the opposite, right? But I was proved wrong. You see what I'm saying? So I say that to say that there's no excuse when you have one or the other person striving for a top position, a head position, a boss position, or whatever the case may be. Both people just have to be understanding as to what's going on. And you got to plan around it or move accordingly, right? But it can happen. You can make it happen. But we got to stop making excuses, and we got to stop building these walls up against each other. We got to stop doing it. And that goes for people of all races. Men and women, we've got to start bonding and building stronger families. We have got to do it. We have got to stop building these walls, and we've got to stop making the excuse of, oh, well, I'm striving for success. I'm into my career. I'm focused on this. I'm focused on that. I ain't got time for it. We got to remember what we was put on this earth to do. We were put on this earth to bond with one another, right? We were put on this earth to bond with one another, guys. Please don't lose sight of that. But that's all I got for this video. Like this video. Share this video. Leave a comment in the comment section. I can be off on this. And again, subscribe to the YouTube, Speaks to Beast. And remember, guys, keep God first. And as the scripture says on the wall, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua 24:15. I love you all. Be blessed.